Hey everyone, Dominic here from Nu Aqua. Today I want to talk about quarantine. First and foremost, 99% of aquarium shops do no quarantine whatsoever, and the small subset that do probably don't take it as far as we do. We're extremely serious about it, and we feel that it is our responsibility, not the hobbyists, to quarantine their fish, so we go to the max. First and foremost, we keep quarantine on the complete other side of the building. That was our cleaning room you just saw, heading through our dry goods section here into the quarantine area. Now these three plant tables are all for sale, but every other tank around here, aside from the displays, is a quarantine tank. We got a mix of 10s, 20s, 40s, even a 75, and a couple 60-gallon cubes over on the other side of the room. But the majority of stuff goes into one of these tanks. Each one is its own separate entity. It's got its own bubble sponge filter, and that mitigates any kind of crossover. There are no shared systems here whatsoever. As you can see, these neon tetras do not look great. Now, we believe kind of in the open kitchen model, so if you are a local customer that can do pickups from us, you can come on over and see the worst of the worst, and then go see the best of the best after we clean everybody up, which I think is pretty cool. We keep everything for an absolute minimum of 14 days. Some stuff is here a lot longer. Dwarf Grammies tend to be one of those species that hang out because they have so much wrong with them. This batch looks okay, but they are getting some treatments here. Like that guy's, or gal, excuse me, is a little lumpy, just not looking great. They did just come in this week, though. There's a lot of stuff in here, getting a lot done. These turquoise rainbows look absolutely excellent, but time will tell. Like this batch of cardinals here has been with us 4 months and been through the ringer, but looking excellent. Now, the biggest question we always get is, what do we do medicine-wise? And we do not treat anything prophylactically, with the exception of deworming wild-caught and farm-raised fish. Now, that does not apply to stuff that's locally bred, whether it be here at Nu Aqua or one of our local hobbyist breeders. For that deworming, we use Paracleanse by Fritz. It's a fantastic medication. Antibiotics only come into play when we have bacterial infections, antifungals for the same reason. But we believe that there's no free lunch. Now, ICX is something we use very commonly here because, as everybody knows, it's kind of a ubiquitous disease, but it's, easily treatable. Let's see, what else? Prazipro for other certain kind of internal parasite infections. This product's fantastic. Focus, we use it to bind medications to food to treat internal stuff for other things. But one of the biggest culprits we have here is columnaris. It shows itself in a couple of ways. This is one where, like, neurologically, a fish will just kind of start turning off, like that poor neon there. But more commonly, you see these big white patches of dying tissue, which is just terrible, like on this guppy here. We use a combination of nitrofurazone and Canaplex to treat that, and it has a fantastic success rate. But long story short is we don't prophylactically use any kind of antibiotic. We only treat when necessary for that because there's no free lunch. Every medicine takes its toll on a little fish. Let's see, what else here do we use? Oh, well, another one is velvet. And for that, we use a combination of hydrogen peroxide, believe it or not, and aquarium salt. And it is quite effective. We've got that one down pat as well. But yeah, you can see there's a whole mess of stuff here that we use. And there's net wash to sterilize our nets. Like I said, every system's independent, so there's no crossover. We really try to minimize spreading anything around if we do isolate something. And another huge part of our quarantine is nutrition. Now, this is all our dry foods here, but we cycle in frozen food several times a week, and we really, really believe that nutrition is kind of the base of health for just about any organism on this planet. You can see we write down our meds in our chart here, and we're digitizing all this as well for our records. All these tanks over here as well in quarantine, and over on that side. And sometimes a fish gets pulled back into QT, like this pink-tailed Celsius was getting beat up by a couple Oscars and just needs a little TLC, and that's where that nutrition really comes into play, helping that soft tissue heal. But that guy should be back in the game very soon. Let's see, what else can I show you guys in here? But observation is really key for us as well. I mean, it's just certain things sneak by. Other things are very subtle, but then you got something like these red chin pancheks that came in January 20th. It's now February, well, it's February 28th, I believe, today, the end of February. And these guys had about everything wrong with them. And we're hanging on to them because even though we have not lost one in weeks now, they just don't look fantastic yet. We might have some permanent gill damage on a few of these, so some may not make it to the gallery, unfortunately. But we're getting these guys back in tip-top shape. They were absolutely rough, but we don't give up on anybody. We believe every heartbeat that comes through this door is valuable, and it's in, what we do in this hobby is inherently kind of a selfish thing to take these little fish and keep them in a glass box in our homes. So it's really, really, really part of our core beliefs here that we need to provide the best life and quality of health for these animals that we're going to bring home for us. See, the 75 houses a few things right now. This is a species that these dwarf yellow banded eels or spiny eels came in looking fantastic, and they needed absolutely nothing aside from that deworming, which probably also wasn't necessary. But then, you got those columnaires, see neons there. Any tank you see that's yellow or bubbly has medication in it, and we log everything and track everything and really try to minimize our losses here. A traditional aquarium shop can see losses of up to 50%. I mean, live bearers like these platies are notorious, and you can see a couple hanging out in the bottom there, and then we haven't lost anybody. Behaviorally, that's a little concerning, so we're going to keep an eye on these guys. Even though they may be clear date-wise, they're going to hang for a little while. And we just go above and beyond, you guys, to really ensure the quality and health of these animals. And like I said, no free lunch, so unnecessary medication use, hard on the animal, builds antibiotic resistance, and it's just not necessary all the time. Once they clear, sometimes much longer than 14 days, everybody gets netted with clean room nets and clean room collection cups and transferred back in here to our gallery, where they are available for sale. Everything you see online is in this room right now and can be picked up locally or shipped to your door. So head on over to nuaquashop.com and get some stuff for your tank.